Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at MSI's Interceptor DSP1 gaming mouse. Now, this is my first gaming mouse because as a gamer, I've only used a wired mouse and a wireless mouse, not exactly a gaming mouse. So this is a first for me. So what struck me the most with gaming mice is that you can switch DPIs on the go. So when you plug in this mouse, you're given the default, which is 800. Next is 1200, and then the 1600 settings. So we're going to take a look at this mouse aesthetics, the technical performance, as well as gaming performance. All of that in this episode. The value of your money was not spent on fancy packaging. Instead, MSI chose to go for a simple blister package. Upon opening it, you are greeted with a mouse and nothing else, something you should expect on a plug-and-play device. The top of the mouse is matte black, adorned with MSI's Gaming Dragon logo. Every LED is red, making the look consistent with the brand. At the sides are glossy and rough plastic finishes. As most users are right-handed, the forward and backward browser buttons are situated at the left side of the mouse, which is exactly where your thumb will be. The clicks of the mouse are not too high and not too low, giving you great click feedback. The scroll wheel isn't too snappy, making it easy to rotate. The DPI button is located beneath the scroll wheel, enabling you to switch DPIs during gameplay. At the bottom, you have slippery plastic pads allowing for smooth mouse movement. Lastly, the weights can be accessed by rotating and removing the cap of the mouse compartment. Here's what the mouse looks like unplugged. The USB male plug is gold-plated, which means interference from other electric sources are blocked off. However, the USB cord isn't braided and would have been a killer add-on. Now let's look at the accuracy of the mouse weight as well as the weight bullets. The mouse itself weighs around 83 grams. The weights in total weigh about 20 grams. Dividing 20 grams to 8 of them gives you about 2.5 grams each, which is around the advertised weight of the bullets. If you decide to put all weights inside the mouse, it'll weigh around 102 grams. For comparison, a typical wireless mouse will weigh around 75 grams, while a typical wired mouse will weigh around 74 grams. Here are the different grips applied to the mouse, starting with the palm grip, the claw grip, and the tip grip. I'm a claw grip guy and the feel is comfortable enough for my Asian-sized hands. If the forward and backward browse buttons were not existent, the mouse would have passed as an ambidextrous mouse. Left-handers will definitely have difficulty using the two side buttons, but other than that, the mouse is symmetrical on both sides. Now let's move on to the technical performance of the mouse. First, we'll measure the DPI accuracy of the mouse. To do this, I've lined my mouse pad with masking tape. The first tape is at 0 centimeters, and at the middle of the tape, we'll start measuring. The second tape to the right is around 3 centimeters away. The next is 5, and then the last one is 10 centimeters. We will be using 3 and 5 for this test. The bottom masking tape is used for tracking the horizontal movement of the mouse so we can eliminate some vertical movement during the test. So we're going to use this tool right here. To use this, we need to set our mouse starting point and the target distance as well as the configured DPI. So for the first test, we're going to use 5 centimeters and 800 as the starting DPI. We then try to drag the mouse towards the blue target button. We will stop moving the mouse horizontally when it reaches the marker for the target distance. The nearer it is to the blue target, the better. Now, since this is an optical mouse, the expected deviation should not go above 5 to 6%. Let's go to the actual test. We'll carefully move the mouse to the 5 cm mark and hopefully it lands near the blue target. So on my left side, you can see the actual mouse movement, and on the right side, you can see the calculated movement. I carefully move it to eliminate any vertical movements that will cause more deviation. So as you can see, for the 800 dpi, we have a deviation of 4.12%. This seems high, but remember, the acceptable performance is below 5 to 6% for optical mice. Now let's move on to the 1200 dpi test. We're going to reset the mouse once again to the 0 starting point, but this time we're going to make use of the 3 cm mark instead of the 5, because at 5 cm the mouse pointer can no longer be seen in the screen. So the same exercise, carefully move the mouse towards the 3 cm mark and hopefully it lands near the blue target. There, for 1200 dpi, we have a deviation of 1.01%, which is fairly low. Now let's go to the 1600 dpi. We will use the same 3 cm mark, so switch to 1600 dpi. Let's reset the mouse. And starting 0, let's carefully move the mouse to 1600 dpi worth of 3 centimeters, which is almost at the end of my screen. There. So for the 1600 dpi, we have a deviation of 0.7%. That's very low. These are great numbers considering that they are well below 5 to 6%. Of course, your result may vary depending on the surface you are gliding your mouse on. Now let's move on to the next test, which is the angle snapping and jitter test. Angle snapping just means that if you move your mouse horizontally or vertically, the mouse should not correct it by making the movement as straight as possible, because the reality is you're also moving the mouse a little bit up and down. The movement of the mouse should be as accurate as the little movements in your hand. Jitter, on the other hand, is just the accuracy of the sensor to pick up movements. There are times that when you move the mouse, the sensor won't pick up the movement, and it has a lot to do with the surface. So for this test, we're using a gaming mousepad and this mouse tester tool to capture the actual sensor movements. So now let's start capturing the sensor movement. We're going to use this masking tape once again as our guide for the mouse movement. Let's hit F2 to start capturing sensor data. And stop. Let's open up the graph that the mouse tester tool was able to generate. As you can see, that is not a straight line, so angle snapping is not existent for this gaming mouse. For the jitter, you can see some blank areas here signifying that the sensor was not able to pick up some movement, but it is almost negligible. I doubt that you'll be able to notice it during gaming. And last but not the least is the liftoff distance test. Liftoff distance means the height of which you need to raise your mouse from the surface for it to stop detecting movement. A lower liftoff distance is ideal since the lower it is, the faster you can reset the position of your mouse during gameplay. A high liftoff distance means that you need more time to reset the position of the mouse. For this test, we're going to multiply the mouse movement by using the 1600 dpi. This is so that little movements can be captured by the sensor and we can see it directly in our screen. We will be running Doom 2016 as our FPS game. We will shake the mouse while lifting it and look at where the character's perspective will stop moving. So let's start shaking. As you can see, the lift-off distance of this mouse is very low. I can't even stick my finger under the mouse. I'd say that this is around 3mm only. Now let's go to my favorite part, the gaming test. The mouse acceleration has been disabled in Windows for accuracy. So we're going to use Battlefield 1. On the left side of the screen is the gameplay, while on the right side is the live mouse movement, so you can see how much movement difference there is for the different DPIs. Now we're starting with the default DPI, which is 800. We'll try switching to 1600 so we can look at different areas faster. As you can see, I can cover a lot of ground just by moving the mouse a little bit with 1600 dpi compared to 1800. The same movement but almost no change in your screen compared to 1600. Now let's go to the scoping part. Now let's just go over this mud. Let's try taking down this bridge. Oh, someone already took it down. So let's try taking down that soldier. So with 1600 dpi, you can see the movement. Switch to 800, the movement is almost removed. You can shoot more accurately. And that's how simple it is. What I like about this mouse is that the weight is just 10 grams more than my previous non-gaming mouse. There's almost no need to get used to it, you just plug and use it. So if you like to make it heavier, then you always have the opportunity to use the weights. So let's try and end the gaming test here, as I won't be able to stop if I get too comfortable with this gaming mouse. So all in all, if you're in the market for your first gaming mouse, or even if you're a seasoned gamer looking for a replacement, then you should definitely consider this mouse. Aside from not having a braided USB cord, this mouse is right on in terms of performance. The DPI accuracy, angle snapping, jitter metrics, and even the advertised weights are on point, making this mouse a true to the core gaming arsenal. The only con that I can think of right now is that MSI introduced me to the world of gaming mice. It previously wasn't in my budget, however, it looks like it will be moving forward. But with the suggested retail price of 1,099 pesos, why not? Hey guys, I hope you liked my review of the MSI Interceptor DSP1 gaming mouse. But as you can see, my rig is white. I'm thinking of painting this mouse white. If you'd like to see that, please hit the like button. But if you prefer that this mouse stay black and red, hit the heart button. Otherwise, please share and comment with your friends.